Welcome, race fans, to Auto Club Speedway. For tonight's running in the BNR Cup Series, we've got 100 laps to run here tonight, 200 miles. Everybody is qualified and just gridding up as we speak. As soon as these cars get finished gridding up, we're going to take you through the field. Alright, looks like we've got just about everybody gridded up, so let's take you through the field. Alright, firing up in the pole position is going to be Sean Judson with Caleb Shelton on his outside. Row 2 is going to have Jason Pearson with Chris Schaefer. Row 3 will have Chris Campbell with John Tiller. Row 4 is going to be Philip Bridgman and Matt Staten. Row 5 is going to have Brock Page and Eric Coulter. Row 6, Cameron Smith and Miguel Campo. Row 7, Jeff Gilmore and Jacob Delgado. Row 8 will have Jeff Gilmore, Brian Hunt. Row 7, Josh Small, Jacob Carter. Row 9, Larry McKenzie, Daniel Archibald. Row 10, George Rincon, Richard John Sr. Row 11, Jim Holmansberger. Row 12, Kevin Roy with Hunter Head. Row 13, Tyler Myers, Brian Foster, and bringing up the rear is going to be Brandon Moore. The lights are off on the pace. Pace cars left the racing surface. And the green flag is out, and we've got a car down in the grass already. We've got another commentator with this week, Will Roberts. We'll bring Will in right now.
Yes, Chris, about a pretty even Steven start. Not too sure what happened on that initial start. Farther in the back, though, there was some confusion going on, I think. But Caleb Shelton trying to get away from that outside lane, but they are powering by him at the moment. Oh, there was another bobble in the middle of 1 and 2. Somebody got way up towards the wall there on that opening lap as well. But Caleb Shelton still sticking it tough on that bottom lane as I believe that was Sean Judson trying to go around the outside. Oh, my apologies, Chris. Oh, Caleb finally got to the high side, but he's going to get crossed over by Sean Judson. Chris, do you have a push to talk on a Discord?
I don't have it on, no.
Oh, okay. So, my apologies. I kind of noticed that Caleb Shelton just out of the groove, got up in the wall, and finally looks like he might have the car back under control. But, man, he just... Maybe the cold tires not up to temp yet. Man, just more loosey-goosiness coming out of the corner there, turn 4, as they're all kind of snaking down the front straightaway. what's your opinion, Chris, of the opening laps here?
Got a lot of movement with everybody in this pack, as we've seen plenty of action already with only just a few laps into this one.
Yeah, the poles that are really struggling for grip, it looks like, at least, and he's not the only one. Do you have a ticker or a scroll? You don't have it like a score, like maybe like a scoring pylon? It's not on at the. I don't. It's not going at the top. I know it should be there, but it's not. Like I see.
Working on it, yeah.
10-4. And they're also not lap counter. It's all good. First broadcast of the BNR racing series, the Cup series. So working out all the kinks early on and fresh. I probably could have said that during qualifying, but I thought maybe you just didn't have it up there, or it was going. My apologies, Chris. As everybody's kind of fanning out now, getting kind of situated, getting the tires up to temperature, as that California sun is setting back behind the mountains here at Club Speedway, just about an hour, I suppose, outside of Hollywood, California, Los Angeles, as all these drivers using just about, oh, huge crash coming out of turn 4. I think somebody was going down as another was coming up, possibly. Not sure who that is at the moment. Well, I think that was Jacob Carter in the 22 Haviland Ford. Haviland, every different ways, I suppose, of saying that motor brand oil. I don't know if he got help there from behind. Oh, I think he just might have lost it himself there, Chris. He may be trying to just get up off the corner, and I think we had somebody evasive maneuvers did not work in that case. Yeah, I think Jacob might have just got wicked loose off the corner. He was experiencing the car was a bit of a handful for him in practice while I was down in the garage area, down pit lane, talking to the drivers, and just very unfortunate for Jacob there coming out of turn 4. And who was that he collected there, Chris?
I'm not quite sure.
I think in total it might have been a 3-car wreck. I think there was someone else. Couldn't quite. I do believe just about everybody came down pit road. So that is Schaefer in the lead. Tiller is second in that 27. Delgado third. Cameron Smith fourth. And Stanton in the 25 and fifth rounds out the top 5 at the moment. Pole sitter Caleb Shelton fell back, I would say about close to maybe 10th or so, maybe further than that. And then he rebounded, I believe he said 7th on that scoring ticker. So.
Yep, we're showing him in 7th right now. Looks like we've got the ticker fixed now.
So early crash caution kind of early on here, as we thought the drivers were kind of settling into the track conditions, and it seemed to have caught out one in particular, and that kind of led to a couple of sweeping into the carnage. Might have to keep an eye on a couple of drivers this evening. Cameron Smith, he won here last season, I do believe, at Auto Club. And your pole sitter, Caleb Shelton, I would also keep an eye on him to make a rebound back up towards the front. So he's pretty dominant almost anywhere. Kind of surprising to see him kind of caught out early on here as they come to this restart. See how fair or how well they can fare it. As race leader Schaefer gets out to a decent hole shot there. Also another interesting name in the field this season, at least so far. Brock Page back in the BNR Cup Series, so Brock Page might have to keep an eye on him as well, as we see the drivers basically fanning out through the corners. This track is very wide, multiple lanes as well, progressive banking. So as you can see, the leader, race leader, trying to duck, bob and weave, just try to break the toe down the front straightaway, as he really has a progressive lane of choice, using that high lane to his advantage to carry that momentum off the top down the back straightaway, as Cameron Smith gets a run on the second place machine, that 27. No, not able to do a slide job. He wanted to, but might have him now coming off of turn 4, but he's going to cross him up. Battles all throughout the field, Chris.
Right, take a little bit further back. And we got one of the walls. 34 Miguel Campo just brushing the wall.
Yeah, these drivers, they really like to use every single inch of the track, and sometimes that means a brush with the wall, whether it mean a kiss or a slap. They're going to really try to extend that arc into the corner as much as possible, Chris.
Yeah, everybody using the entire track here. High line, low line. As we can see, another one brush into the wall there.
I believe that was the pole sitter, Caleb Shelton, still struggling, at least for the most part. Oh, no, that was the car in front of him, the 45. I believe that might have been Delgado, trying to get used to all the numbers on a new season. Very, very struggle. Struggle is real. Just right whenever you get used to calling somebody with a number that you've been used to for a couple of seasons, you know, bam, they change a number on you. Thank goodness we got people like Caleb Shelton that just stay that same number all the time. I'm kind of the same way. Once I choose a number, I'm almost going to be that same number all the time, all throughout. Man, 45 of Delgado, really wicked loose coming off the corners. Got to keep an eye on that car. Might have some trouble later on.
But John Tiller, way down.
And he was running up inside the top 5. So costly mistake for one of the front runners, as I think he came together with the 82, that Napa Know-How car, if that is the number 80-something. Yes, 82 indeed, of Pearson. Is that his name?
82, yes. That is Jason Pearson.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, I think he might have been trying to side draft Pearson. Maybe Pearson might have been trying to come down the track ever so slightly off the corner down the back straightaway. It is quite tricky here. Very bumpy track. That rear end housing is going to have a heyday this evening. But yes, indeed, Chris, you're gonna. That is going to come into factor and come into play, and also that pesky netcode may not like that too much whenever you try to get in there and side draft or just cars getting so close. Cameron Smith, though, stalking Schaefer, race leader, as the rest of the field kind of trying to get back to him. Not too major separation here under, I would say, the top, what is that, top 7 here, all within a second and a half of each other. Then we got about 2 seconds, 2.25 back to George Rincon, or Jorge Rincon, whichever he prefers. Got to ask him that one day. I used to race with him on the console side of things, but so decent gap throughout the top 6, that is. And Delgado trying to stay a hold, and oh my goodness, look at this tussle back here. 3 wide for a moment, and they're trying to still work around it. Jeff Gilmore in that 75 Miller High Life car trying to work his way up through the field. Nice Marlboro paint scheme by, who's in the 68? Is that Brock? Brock Page, maybe? No, Page is in the 36, I believe. So figure out who's in that 68 Marlboro paint scheme. Nice to see kind of classic paint schemes with like a modern day twist to them, Chris. I don't know how you feel about retro-ish paint schemes or throwback paint schemes.
Yeah, that's Chris Campbell in that 68 Marlboro car, and I do love the throwbacks. It's always nice to see something old back on the track.
Never really got to see Marlboro in NASCAR. It was more like Winston and Camel cigarettes that were on cars in NASCAR. Marlboro was more IndyCar and Formula One, but that's kind of cool to see a Formula One / IndyCar paint scheme on a stock car. I do have to say that. But man, racing all over the place. Cameron Smith took over the lead from Schaefer, and that, I mean, they're still battling though for it, as man, 6 cars all under a blanket here for the top spots, as they're just side by side. And then man, you get back here to where Delgado is. Delgado is in 7th place, but right behind him, it almost looks like they're at Daytona or Talladega going down the straightaway, and then they get into the corner and they all funnel out from one another. So, oh man, Caleb Shelton fighting back, had that struggle early on, fell back to about 10th or so, and then rebounded. Now he's fighting on the door of 3rd place, or 2nd place, excuse me, and just, man, hornet's nest back here for about 7th, 8th place on back. But man, even the battle up front with those 6 cars, that looks sketchy too. You never know what could happen at this close of racing, Chris.
Yeah, we've got another.
Gotta be careful.
These guys are awful excited this whole time already. Keeping it nice and clean, though. Yes, indeed, clean. All besides that one incident early on for Jacob Carter losing it. Overcorrection, more or less. This rack and steering, you got to be very careful with the corrections you try to make it to the car. And if not, it's just going to throw you right back the opposite direction. Who's in the 21? Wow, that's Samuel Archibald.
Archibald in the 21, really trying to fight for that 7th place. Did Delgado get in the wall, perhaps, maybe in the middle of 1 and 2? If he did, it didn't slow his progression down at all. But, oh, man, yeah, I saw that too. Kind of ricocheted off the wall, but I don't know if he kind of had a lag spike there or what happened. That was some weird-looking stuff from that 45 Exalta car. Almost ricocheted out the wall or something. I thought for sure he was... Oh, and indeed, right as we went on board with Delgado, I believe that was on board with Delgado.
Take a look here.
Oh, Gilmore came down and clipped Delgado in the right rear, just hooked him. Maybe get a far chase view from Gilmore, perhaps. Gilmore could have bounced off of somebody else or bounced out of the wall, maybe. Or
There we go. Back that up just a tiny bit.
yeah, you got so many guys running up in the high lane, and the dirty air truly affects the cars, so you got to try to back it up so you don't get in the wall. And whenever you do, we talked about that overcorrection earlier. You know, you're going to be in the dirty air of somebody, so that's mainly going to make the car tighter on you. And then you try to react to that happening, and sometimes that's just, in a way, the net result of that being. Still, Chris, unfortunately, don't have a lap counter. There was the timer of the session.
Working on it.
I was just, okay, 10-4, 10-4. I didn't know. Oh, we got two Marlboro cars. They must be teammates, except they're different manufactured. Don't you love that?
That's 00 of Larry McKinnon.
I think they might be teammates. I'm trying to remember back to Thursday, who was teammates with who that showed up. Most of these guys, they, for the most part, race in all three series that BNR has to offer, the Trucks, Xfinity, and Cup. So sometimes they all just, not all, but most of them just have the time to show up on the weekends on the Cup Series events. So, but, well, somebody might have been going a bit slow for Delgado down pit road, or Delgado might be getting a speeding penalty. Don't know yet. One of the two just happened, though. Delgado missed his pit, had to back it up. Want to minimize mistakes and hopefully don't really make them at all as well. You want to try to prevent the mistakes from happening, but sometimes you get kind of pulled into one's mistake. Well, in a way, hopefully they can get back to racing in a way how they were, because that was some real exciting racing, but hopefully limit as few cautions as possible. Don't really want to see wrecks occur, but sometimes when you race that close together, it's going to be bound to happen sooner or later. Couple of cars, I do believe, 4 or 6 laps down. One of the two. The two cars extremely heavily damaged, so probably repairing, maybe had to get a tow back to the pits and repairing that damage. And I believe Delgado was still in the pits servicing that car. Possible tow links or just all sorts of internal damage to the chassis, possibly, that just had to be repaired. So Myers and Bridgman, I believe, are both 6 laps down, and Judson something awry with Sean Judson in the 19 machine. He's still in pit road. Pace car dives off of racetrack yet again, back onto pit road. Race into the hands of, I believe that might be Schaefer. Or excuse me, no, it wasn't Schaefer. It was Yes, Matt Staton in that 25 machine. Real good launch on that restart.
Another caution.
As Shelton. Oh my. Not sure what happened there. Looks like off the real time, just
looks like you just got loose off the corner.
Indeed, just loose. Cold tires, not up to temp on these restart, and man, that was Delgado. He just had repaired that car, and that might set him out of this race. That might be the end for the 45 machine, which we saw him earlier on in the race. He was struggling with that looseness, and it just finally snapped on him. Could be also a little bit of that overcorrection with the rack and pinion that we talked about. You don't want to overcorrect it too harshly, because when you do, something like that could actually occur. But sometimes whenever it just goes awry, it fully goes, man. No control. Stanton, Shelton, Schaefer, Page, Pearson, Gilmore, McKenzie, Campo, I believe that is that correction. Campo, Colemansberger, and Tiller. That's the top 10. Campbell, Foster, Moore, Smith, or Johns, then Smith, Small, Hunter Head there, Kevin Roy, Brian Hunt, and Samuel Archibald rounds out the top 20. And indeed, Delgado is out of the proceedings this evening. Chris, who would you have your eyes on, maybe as far as go out here and maybe snatch this win away from somebody?
Oh, geez, I'm not even sure. It's too early in this one. We got a long race in for tonight. We've had a couple of these guys up front. Staton, Shelton, Schaefer, kind of dicing around. So keeping an eye on those guys.
As long as Caleb Shelton does not have another moment like he did on the opening couple that really set him back, I want to say as far back around as 10th or so, he should be okay and stay up in the front. Very uncharacteristic to have moments like that from Caleb. He normally is able to hold a pretty wheel, but mistakes happen to the best of us, that is for sure. It's part of racing. As they are getting doubled up here, ready to go. Green again, down the back. straightaway for this last caution lap here. Under, what is this, our third caution of the evening? Second?
I believe this is the third. Lights off
I
on the
want to say
pace
it's
car.
third too, yes. Yes, it is the third. You had the one for Jacob, and then, yes, incident down the back straightaway, and then Delgado on the restart. Pace car peels. Oh my goodness! Pace car peeled off. Tried to do a monster jam juke there or something.
Had a bit of a stack
Anyway,
up on the inside
back
line.
under green. Yeah, just a bit. Looked like Caleb got caught sleeping for the most part. Now they do use that the restart box rule for the stock cars, I guess you could say, Chris, if you know what I'm talking about for iRacing. So you know you got to go basically when the leader goes. You got to time it or just basically let the leader go. And we've kind of seen some people get bit by that, and also got to watch out for sometimes drivers like to mistakenly change lanes before that start-finish line. That kind of caught out a couple of people during the Daytona Speed Weeks last week. So back to about the top 6, 7, trying to break away from the rest of the field. Trying, but it's almost not being too successful on this restart, as the rest of the field trying to stay within reason of the front runners. Stanton really doing a good job, I would say, trying to control the race pace. As I say that, though, Brock Page making a pass by him, along with Caleb Shelton and Schaefer. Right as you try to talk somebody up or say, hey, he's doing a fantastic job. No, never mind.
Got one down on the apron. That's Sean Judson.
Yes, Sean is multiple laps down. I think he's just trying to come back out and log some laps, maybe learn for next time, if there is a next time here again for Sean. I'm not too sure what happened to Sean early. Could have been some lag, or I don't think he got caught up in anything, but he is multiple laps down for some reason. Maybe during a caution, if we have another caution, we can possibly drag him up in the booth and ask him why he fell off the pace. Mainly just about everybody staying off that bottom lane. I guess bottom lane has some bad juju in it after the sun went down fully, and they've seen how wicked loose, I guess, they can be on the very bottom, especially in 1 and 2. We haven't really seen them. We've seen them get on the very bottom lane in 3 and 4, but they don't. Particularly for the most part, everybody trying to avoid that bottom lane in 1 and 2. Those higher lanes really have more grip, it seems like, especially for these front runners. Now Jeff Gilmore up here challenging. He just did an impressive slide job off the turn 4. Oh, I swear, as soon as you talk somebody else, man. Oh, wow, okay, I thought for sure that was going to be a caution, but man, they gathered it up and they kept it going straight somehow. But Stanton, I do believe, got into the back of, I believe that was Stanton, got into the back of Gilmore, had him sideways for a corner, on corner exit of turn 2, and somehow Gilmore was able to keep it going. I was going to say Gilmore did an impressive slide job, got onto the high lane, and I guess had to let it roll a little bit longer than his competitors liked, and maybe Stanton just was able to get back into the throttle better, or something to that effect, and he just said hello to Gilmore, but that has not really broken down too much progress. As what would you say that is? The top 4 or 5 right there. At least this, that's the top 5. Brock Page leading this race now over Schaefer. And then Tiller right in the 27. So man, Tiller goes all the way down to the bottom, hopefully hoping to get some type of run, taking the shortest way around on the front stretch, but had to come back up to arc it into the corner. Brock Page really working the high side momentum in 1 and 2. And that's going to really help him down the back straightaway, carrying that momentum, as Schaefer had to really let it roll a whole lot longer than Page. But he's going to try to use that same tactic in 3 and 4, at least follow the wake, follow the draft of Brock Page. Caleb Shelton almost tagged the wall there coming out of turn 4. This is the top 5, all under a blanket, at least a small quilt. I would say that's maybe 0.8, maybe 0.5 of a second right there. As you could see, Schaefer trying to figure out a good run, possibly trying to make on Brock Page here. But as we talked about, being in the wake of a competitor in the draft can kind of be not so good, as Schaefer goes all the way downstairs in turns 1 and 2. Not going to be able to do anything with that, as Brock Page going to have that momentum again, as we talked about, coming off of turns 1 and 2, rolling that high side. He just carries it all the way down the back straightaway into 3 and 4. He doesn't. I don't think he goes as high, at least in the entry to 3, as he does in 1. Yeah, he goes almost all the way as much as he can get into 1. As this battle for the front 5 still heated up, they don't really want to let that burner go. But man, right behind them and 6th on back is a tussle too. But Caleb Shelton, Matt Stanton right there at the heels of Schaefer and Page. As Schaefer's run right there, man, he got stalled out so badly as he had to walk it up the track, running that bottom lane in 1 and 2. He floated up towards Brock Page's quarter, and that really stalled his run out, giving Stanton and Shelton a really good run at him now. as those two kind of tandem up, trying to see what they can do if they could get to the front, take the lead away from Brock Page. By the way, Chris, I think he took away the ticker.
Yeah, I'm working. I'm been having a lot of problems here. I'm trying to get it back
Oh,
up.
okay, 10-4. My bad. My apologies.
No worries.
I didn't know. But still a good fight up here at the front of the field, as you can really see all the different lanes that they try to use to their advantage. But Brock Page really has probably the best line at the moment, still able to uh, hold the race lead over all the kind of threats and big jabs that has kind of came his way. Just it can be very difficult in the tire tracks in the wake of these current gen. I kind of get tired of calling them next gen cars, Chris, as Schaefer really tries now going to the bottom of Brock Page there, but he gets stalled out yet again as he kind of shuts the door on Shelton. I think Shelton was going to make it 3 wide coming off the corner, but that door got shut pretty quickly on him. But Caleb's going to try now. Oh, I think Page might have slapped the wall a little bit right in the center of 1 and 2, and that's going to cut his momentum down. That's really going to halt the progression of Schaefer's and who is that? Stanton as well. Stanton had to check up, but Tiller on the inside of Page now. That's a costly mistake. He was really getting that fine line of really cutting it into turn 1. You can really only do that so many times until something like that occurs where the wall just kind of grabs you. You can only be a few inches or maybe just a foot off of it, and sometimes the air in between, physics, basically come into play a lot more when you're just wall riding. You have a pocket of air right beside you, basically off your car to the wall or right against that wall, and then sometimes just almost as if you're just getting sucked into it in a way. Like the air just kind of goes away for a brief moment, and it just pulls you right into the wall. As I would imagine some drivers are possibly downshifting, like they're upshifting, possibly right as they're coming off of turn 4 maybe, and downshifting right before they go into turn 1. And they could be doing it the same way down the back straightaway as well. Schaefer had a moment getting into 1 that lap. He got awful tight behind Tiller as Tiller kind of crossed him down, kind of came across his bow. Kind of a mid to, this is, I want to say, the longest run that we've had so far of the evening, Chris. And we're really going to get shown basically how the cars are going to truly handle late in a run, or at least halfway through a run, if anything. good possibility that maybe just whatever Schaefer had as far as tire life goes, maybe having just complications with the tire wear at the moment, not really handling to his extreme liking. As Brock Page still back, Brock Page back in the lead, I do believe now, and he's back again leading this procession up here in the top of the field. Caleb Shelton now in second place, trying to find a way by. We saw earlier Cameron Smith in the 8 car. He was one of the front runners early on. There he is. I believe he's back in 6th position. He's trying to lead a small train of cars up to this front pack. I was going to say he pitted, got towards, I want to say about towards the far side of the field, about halfway through the field. I thought for sure maybe he might be one of the drivers that just got caught in the traffic, but looks like he has worked his way through it. And I believe that's Brandon Moore in the 47 machine right behind him. So they are slowly reeling in the top 5. That's Pearson and I think Jim Coleman'sberger in that bronze gold-looking car, I think, behind Pearson.
Yeah, the 11 Twix car.
Okay, yep, that's Jim.
We got a couple cars peeling off onto.
As Jim making. All right, green flag cycle pit stops occurring. That was Cameron Smith and Schaefer. So looks like maybe Cameron might have gained a little bit of ground on at least one of the front runners. Now the undercut could be a plus side on the strategy, perhaps, maybe. That's a big maybe. Because sometimes if you got fresh tires, you could make up a little bit of ground, but then the drivers that stay out just a few laps longer, or they wait just a bit longer to come in and pit, and then they have fresher tires than you, so then they can run you back down. So the undercut can kind of be beneficial, but sometimes it's just better to go as long as you can in the long run, Chris. I don't know what you prefer. I don't know if you're kind of a short pit kind of guy, or you just like to basically run the fuel out if you can.
Myself, I don't.
Oh, man, Cameron's... You don't... go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
I usually go with whatever my teammates are doing. I refer to them. They're typically more experienced than myself.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. 10-4 teammate play. But looks like Cameron Smith possibly had a penalty of some kind, that's for sure going to be a costly mistake for Cameron, having some type of pit lane violation penalty occurrence there. That might ruin his night unless he can get a caution in a hurry, but anything is possible. But that might be it for the 8 car this evening, Chris. Having to come back down pit road right after you make what could be a scheduled pit stop for you, and then you got to serve a penalty right after you make your scheduled pit stop. That's always a bummer.
Yeah, for sure. Costly mistakes on pit road. I've done that plenty of times myself. Lose it all on pit road.
As Jim Coleman'sberger brings that 11 Twix car down pit lane. What could have possibly happened for Cameron was he could have just been too fast entering the pits. Uh, the the pit lane commitment line can kind of catch people off guard sometimes. So sometimes you think it's either further down the pit lane from when you enter, or sometimes it can be pow right there. Oh, I guess Jim had a drive-through. Okay, then. So multiple uh, penalties. Auto Club, even in the real world, Chris has been known for kind of catching people off guard from time to time. Back whenever it was an actual placeholder on the NASCAR schedule.
Yeah, they come around the corner pretty quick to dip down on here, so it can be difficult to get that speed right where you need it to be.
Yes, the average cornering speed here, uh, would you say between 160, maybe 170-ish? And then you got to drop down to, what is it? I want to say 55 here.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a caution.
Yeah, I'm trying to fix these overlays.
You're all good. We just didn't, unfortunately, catch what transpired. I didn't see it live, so I didn't know. I didn't really notice the car slowing down. I just thought it was Jim having some type of penalty, perhaps. But Brandon Moore going to be the race leader at the time, bringing the field down pit lane. Pearson, Gilmore, Archibald, I believe. You know, this caution could benefit Cameron and Jim Coleman'sberger, perhaps, depending on if we have any racers who were still on the lead lap when the caution came out after they made a pit stop, but more than likely going to lose a lap making a pit stop here. So the field could just be scrambled here like some eggs. Just going to have to wait and see, Chris. Might have a long list of wave buys. I think Schaefer was in position to get the lucky dog. I don't know. Like I said, not too sure how many laps the 8 was down, nor Coleman'sberger in the 11, but I do see a lot of waiver rounds about to possibly be had because Brock Page and Matt Stanton looks like, and Caleb Shelton. So we had a lot of cars that kind of got caught out or off guard by this caution happening during what was what green flag pit stops were proceeding during this time of caution. So okay, so I think I figured it out. Brock Page will be the leader. I do believe when we go back racing. These are the drivers getting a wave around, getting a lap back, staying out, not pitting. That's a lot of guys, I do believe, that took the wave by, or the wave around. As I do believe we will be coming back green flag this lap. They are getting double filed up, ready to go from our fourth caution of the evening. Brock Page choosing that outside lane again on this restart, I do believe. And I also do believe that that was somewhat a pretty even restart by most of the rest of the field. Page entering turn one like he had pretty much been all night, not gotten extremely close to that wall like he did just a few moments ago, but still close enough. Sean Judson just, oh man, he's dealing with an evil car. I believe he just lost it, and he immediately just
Oh,
oh, Brandon Moore involved somehow. Brandon Moore, oh, he got sideswiped by who was that coming back up on the track like that?
it was a 34.
And that's Mocamp. Yes, terrible with. Sorry, I'm great about butchering people's last names.
Hey, I'm right with you. 34, Miguel Campo.
Yeah. So cautions kind of breed cautions here this evening, Chris.
Yes, they do. We see that quite often
As
in racing.
just unfortunate set of circumstances. Campo just wasn't able, in a way, to hold it down low, and came back, and innocent bystander, from the most part, what it looked like Brandon Moore just sideswiped. And there was a couple of different, almost two different incidences under the same caution flag for the most part, at least from what it looked like live, and the somewhat decent replay that we got there, Chris. Thank you. While you're still struggling to get the ticker and everything, the information we need to work or to be presentable to the viewers.
Some software issues I was having earlier. I thought I got them all fixed up, but
like I said,
I'm not sure we're gonna.
It is okay to. Well, just have to kind of do it radio style. And
yeah.
What lap are they on currently, Chris?
66. Gotta go the old-fashioned way to the
Okay, laps.
actual iRacing overlay.
Sometimes that's just the best way to do it, I suppose.
Well, new software makes it look better, but that means more bugs, so we will get there.
Yep. Hey, it is perfectly fine. I know, we, well, we have worked through our fair share of gremlins and bugs, and still do on occasions. I mean, it like tonight, for instance. I mean, it happens. So you just gotta go with the flow, or go with it, I guess you could say, or try to make the best out of the situation you were dealt, I guess.
Yeah.
So you said lap 67? My apologies.
Yeah.
So 67 coming to 68.
Yep.
So almost done with this race. We almost got a quarter left to go, if you think about it. Almost there to that 25 to go mark. As Cameron Smith, I think he might have beat the pace car out of pit road, so he should be able to catch up, hopefully, to the field before they go green. Oh, no, he did not. That's a bummer. That is another, I guess you could say, mistake, or add on to a good night you were having, and man, just keep kicking you while you're down. And the pace car is off again.
Got a little bit of a jump
had a
going
stack up going there. Yeah. Somebody tried to jump early. They might get penalized for that, Chris, so have to wait and see if anybody darts down off of turn 4 on this opening restart lap here. Lap 68, like we said, so
I believe that was
closing
more. Jumping down in the middle, maybe wasn't quite lined up right, or not sure if he was trying to get an advantage.
Well, either way, that might come back to bite him, as he might have to serve a penalty. We'll just, like I said, have to wait and see. But Brock Page, still your race leader. He's still up at the front of the field. No, he didn't peel down to pit road. So, yeah, maybe he was just out of position, maybe trying to get in the right position. Who kind of knows at this point, Chris? We kind of don't, so we just have to keep assuming. As Jeff Gilmore, there he is, trying to fight back his way to the front after being kind of tail-slapped earlier on, about almost the halfway point of the race, I do believe. But, yeah, there he is, fighting for 4th position. That is a battle for 4th and 5th, as the top 3 trying to break away, as we have a snake progression, single file down the straightaways, and then you're going to watch them probably try to find their own lane in the corner here, and watch them make a liar out of me, Chris.
Oh, and we got a wreck.
Oh, huge crash. Archibald, something happened to Archie. Not sure if he was tagged, or he just got maybe wicked sideways.
Here we go.
Can we get one more? Loose. Yeah, thank you.
So you just got loose up off
the
corner.
he might have. Yeah, he might have gotten really. He might have gotten really happy with the steering, because the car in front of him was getting sideways, and he was just like, nope, I don't want any part of that. And then he was probably overcorrecting to what he saw in front of him. Good possibility, Chris. Or maybe he could have just been struggling with the handling of his own car as well. That turn 2 tonight has really caught, well, really the exit of the corners tonight have really caught out a handful of drivers this evening.
For sure. Yeah, these corners can be tricky coming off of the corners, and these next gen cars are a handful. They're great until they get a little loose, and once they're going, forget it. You're not taking it. You're not going to save that thing.
Nope. Everybody but Brock Page coming back down pit road. I totally would understand. Get another fresh set of tires if you can. I don't know who keeps joining and leaving our broadcast booth, but hopefully they find the right channel they're supposed to be a part of. If they are, well, so far, Chris, I want to get your opinion of what you think the racing tonight has been that we have been spectating and also giving our opinion of.
Well, hey, I've liked everything I've seen thus far. I mean, we got a lot of people moving around. There's a lot of side-by-side action, sending it high, sending it low, back and forth. And I mean, we've had, like you said, caution's precautions, but we had a pretty good long green flag run. I mean, these guys aren't getting crazy. We see, like, again, cautious precautions. The cold tires coming off the corners, people spin. But other than that, it's been some really good, exciting, and clean racing.
Now, is this the sixth or seventh caution?
Oh boy, I lost track.
I want to say it's the seventh. We could just go with 7 because I think we were at 6, the one prior to this. So, 7th caution of the evening. If we're lying, then we could be dying, but hopefully not. But just thought I'd throw something out that kind of rhymes at the spur of the moment. As Brock Page going to possibly take the inside lane. No, he doesn't. He's going to the outside. That handy dandy trusty outside lane. I don't know why he even said going to the inside. Looks like Jim Coleman'sberger going to restart second. He gained a ton of ground in that during that pit stop there. So maybe just took right sides and a splash of fuel to top it off because, they had just had that restart. So, and Kevin Roy, I do believe in that 12 car. So those two possibly just gambling there, taking some right sides. Excuse me, my apologies. Caleb Shelton coming out, maybe the first car on 4 tires. And I would assume Jeff Gilmore 4 tires, and the rest of the field should be on 4. But the 11 and 12, I would say possibly 2 tires.
We're gonna find out what's gonna happen next. Is pace car's gonna peel off the track?
Yep. 8th time in total for the pace car peeling off. Brock Page, whole shot restart yet again. Gotta wait till you, if you want to decide to change lanes there, Brock, want to wait till after that restart line, start-finish line. But, yeah, don't really see him dropping down anytime soon unless I guess he's going to defend that position. But they really fan out behind him. Every which lane you can have is available, like we said. What lap was it? Was that 72?
Brock Page is going to be bringing him back to the line to grab lap 75.
Oh, 75. Okay. I was only off by a couple. So, 25 laps remaining in this race, Chris. So, really, it kind of looks like the Brock Page show at the moment, unless someone like Caleb Shelton or Jeff Gilmore could get up there and maybe put up a fight, but or unless Brock Page wants to kind of get into the wall again. But after he made that mistake earlier on, Chris, he's been kind of, staying at least a half a lane more away from the wall than what he was in turns 1 and 2. And he also doesn't have that pressure on him like he did earlier as well. So when you don't have the pressure, you're not going to be fighting for every inch possible on the track, so he can kind of, rest a little bit while in the lead.
We got a crash up.
Oh,
cars
yeah, a couple of cars came together, and looks like the caution's going to be out for the 8th time.
Let's bring that one back just a little further. Yeah, it's Tyler Myers in the 6th.
Tyler was running that high side, and it looks like perhaps just came out from underneath him running that high side, and he went down low like we talked about. Once you try to correct it, man, it's just gonna whip right back on you. And who was that just had nowhere to go?
That was.
Did you get a
Bridgman? Yeah.
Philip Bridgman. Unfortunate night for Philip. I believe he was caught up in the first caution of the evening with Jacob Carter. I believe that was Philip that went to the inside, rocking that AC/DC paint scheme, man. Poor AC/DC, just beaten and battered this evening. And that might be all she wrote for Philip as well this evening here at Fontana. So
yeah, just
they're
wrong place, wrong time, and these guys not having any fast repairs tonight.
Yep, no fast repairs in the BNR Cup Series this season. Hopefully, I guess you could say a goal was to try to make the racing better. In a way, it has to a certain degree, but you're still going to have wrecks. You're still going to have things that are out of your control. So, as we have seen here this evening, Auto Club is really well known for catching drivers off guard with the understeer and oversteer that you can have coming out of these corners. And we have most certainly seen that at both ends of the track this evening.
Caleb Shelton is back up in first position, followed by Jim Coleman'sberger.
Well, Brock Page most certainly probably had to come down and top off and get a fresh set of tires. So we're going to be looking and keeping an eye on that 36 machine of Brock Page to see how long it's going to take him to come up through the field, because he's probably going to be on the freshest set of tire on the lead lap, that is. So maybe him and Tiller in the 27, if Tiller is still on the lead lap. But yeah, Brock didn't pit on the last caution, so for sure we would think everybody would have enough fuel to make it. One would have to assume to the scheduled distance, but I do believe it's unlimited green-white checkers in the BNR Racing Series. So, yeah, once it goes into that fantastic overtime, I don't know about you, Chris, but I'm not a fan of overtime or green-white checkers. Or I think every race should be ran to the scheduled distance, and if it's not, then oh well, you kind of paid for what you got, in my opinion. Like you don't necessarily need to crash more cars.
Yeah, I can appreciate your point on that. Me personally, I like to have I prefer the green finish. I feel like it makes it more exciting, but I absolutely understand what you're saying with tearing up more cars. So I can see that for sure.
It's just the old school mentality inside of me, just wanting the scheduled distance to be done and over with. But yeah, I also see it. I see it from that point of view as well. The green flag finish of excitement and everything. But even then, sometimes you don't get it. So, sanctioning body gonna sanctioning body, I guess. As Oh, lights are still on that pace car. Man, I was getting all hyped again, you know.
Yeah, they put
But
them back on.
Jim Coleman'sberger going to restart second. Going to see if Jim can time Caleb Shelton's restart, or if the man in fourth place could give a push. Jeff Gilmore could give a push to Caleb Shelton. You got the battle of the beverages, if you want to call it that. Pepsi and Miller, even though one's a soda, one's a alcoholic beverage. But anywho, nevertheless, see what those two guys can do on the outside lane compared to Jim Coleman'sberger and Kevin Roy on the inside. We've kind of seen tonight on the restarts that the inside lane almost bobbles or kind of log jams a bit more than that outside progression. So just see who's sleeping or if they're going to be wide awake. Got to be focused, always on your toes.
Indeed, we're going to be coming back to the line with 81 laps to go. Or, excuse me, on lap 81.
So 82 when we get the green flag. Yep. That'll be 18 laps to go. Oh, 81. Okay. 19 laps to go, right? So.
Yes, sir. See if we can finish this one out.
I say 2 more cautions. What do you say? Over, under?
I'd like to say under. But we'll see how it plays out as the green flag is just about to come out.
Indeed, green flag back in the air, and Caleb Shelton gonna get a hole shot jump on the field there. I would say race leader normally has advantage in the restart area or the restart zones at pretty much almost all tracks on iRacing whenever it comes to stock car racing on the platform. It's so hard to see almost an equal restart unless you're at a super speedway. Oh my goodness.
And there we go.
George Rincon. Not sure if he had help or if he got loose on his own, but
let's take a look. Oh, looks like he may have had a little bit of help.
Oh. I think there was the car right in front of him. I think it might have been Stanton.
Yeah, he got a little out of shape, maybe checked up, and the 3 got in the back of him.
Yes. Log Jam City on that bottom lane. Man, right, that's exactly, in a way, what we were talking about.
Almost
but it kind of happened later.
Yeah.
Yeah, just about almost had it saved, and unfortunately, man, that rack and pinion steering just really likes to be chaotic. George Rincon was having I would say a upright standing job.
Surprising that actually did
this
bring
evening.
Caution as we can see the 3 heading down onto the apron now, but he's going to collect it up and bring it back up.
Wow, no caution indeed. Sometimes whenever spins or wrecks happen off the track, like that kind of almost fully occurred. Rincon kind of came back, tank slapped it into the wall, but surprisingly, caution did not occur. But yes, Caleb Shelton in the lead. He's got about 5/10 of a second, 8/10 of a second, just a good guesstimation there over Caleb Shelton, Kevin Roy.
Yeah, look at this. Kevin Roy's coming in. He's been known to be a sleeper. We haven't heard hardly anything from him tonight. Just chilling at the back, but comes up to the front when it matters.
Well, that is his mentality. I tell you what, Kevin Roy is really good about just being a lurker. Old type of, I guess you could say, the David Pearson style. Just be there whenever it counts. Just like you said, Chris. Just show up when the time is right. And I tell you, if Kevin Roy doesn't get caught up in somebody else's melee, or sometimes it might be of his own doing, but it's kind of rare. But he normally makes his way up to the front at the end of these races, like you said, and can be a sleeper for sure. So good to see Kevin Roy up in the top 3 for sure.
Yeah, and you know, I gotta actually personally give a shout out to Kevin Roy. Him running that 1.5 Studios scheme is actually is how you guys found 1.5 Studios to broadcast this league, seeing it on his car. So I gotta give a huge shout out to him and thank you for giving us the BNR and 1.5 Studios together for this broadcasting season.
Yes, that is a tremendous way of coming together, like you said, just kind of finding a really cool paint scheme. And oh, by the way, it's basically a streamer or a broadcaster, and kind of giving you some love in a way by supporting you and running that on his car, like you said. That's really awesome. And he's really reeled in Caleb Shelton to about 2/10 now, as this battle for the rest of the top 5 has heated up. Uh, Jeff Gilmore lost a couple of spots there. Brock Page with the fresh tires, making his way through the field. I guess you could say almost making his way downtown.
There, we've got battles closing in. Kevin Roy's closing in on Caleb Shelton. We've got that, as you said, for the about 5th place position. We got these 3 cars here. We've got that. We've got 36, you said, making his way back up there. Brock Page.
Now, is Brian Hunt, is he in the 4 car?
In the 4 car. That is indeed
Like
Brian
I said,
Hunt.
Chris, I figured. It's kind of difficult whenever, like we talked about earlier in the broadcast, whenever these drivers want to some of them want to change numbers just about every season on you. You just want to get like a ruler out and just start whacking them sometimes. Like, man, why you do this to me? But yeah, just got to get used to it.
Yeah,
I
the
do
whole
not.
series is, everyone in here is overall new for me, but I can relate to that with some of the other series when they change seasons and change their paint schemes, and then it's like, who is everybody? Hold on a minute.
You got to do like another check or like a double check. I tell you, that 82 of Pearson, man, he has been putting up a fight all night long with people. As Kevin Roy still trying to do something with Caleb Shelton. He is there. He is on him like a bad rash.
And Will, we just got the 10 to go.
10 laps to go, like you said. Jeff Gilmore all over Brian Hunt. And Brock Page with the fresh tires. He's just back there in traffic now in that dirty air. And he's kind of stalled out now between everybody scrimmaging for position. I would almost, I don't want to call it, but I would almost say maybe Jim Coleman'sberger might try to help Kevin Roy in some way, shape, or form. Try to help Kevin as far as maybe be a pick or maybe block for Kevin, because they're kind of good pals over in the SRU Sim Racing Unleashed League of Racing Series. So that's as far as where I know those two from. They come over here and race in the BNR, support this league, but at the moment they're running 2nd and 3rd. I don't think they're on the same team, but they are good pals as far as I know. So, but Caleb Shelton still in the lead at the moment, still defending that lead to the best of his ability, as Kevin Roy can get up to him. But like we talked about all night long, that dirty air, man, it can really make or break your race.
We got 3 wide a little further back.
Yeah, that is Pearson.
Contact.
Oh, don't get. Yep. I think that was Stanton, Pearson, and Page.
Yep, Stanton Pearson making a little bit of contact going over the line.
I believe Jeff Gilmore maybe had too many heat cycles on that one set of tires, or just maybe drove for all it had, and he has lost a couple of more positions there, falling back behind Pearson.
Kolmensberger looked like he may be trying to make a pass.
Yes, indeed. He could be setting up Kevin Roy for sure. Kevin Roy looks a little bit bobbing and weaving to the inside. Doesn't have a play on the race leader of Shelton. Kolmensberger, though, still a little bit too far back at the moment. Going to have to try to get a run off of turn 2. See what he can do down the back straightaway. Kevin Roy knows he's there. Kevin Roy probably now knows that this is probably going to be the best fight at the moment. They just can't really seem to do anything against the race leader this evening. Once you get to him, it's just hard to pass in the wake of that dirty air. What is it, 6 laps to go? 5?
Yes, there should be 6.
Okay, 6.
5.
I'm just jumping ahead of ourselves here. 10-4. As you can see a little bit further back in the field, Josh Smalls trying to make a move on Tiller, and the Marlboro machines back there as well, trying to make a play. But up front, it's all Caleb Shelton leading this progression of cars. It's about, 7 cars deep.
Got 6 car down the
I think that's the top. I believe that's the top 9. No, top 8. My apologies. Yes, I had to do a recount. So, but man, there's still battles raging throughout the field. But this top 8 is probably the spiciest at the moment. Brock Page just couldn't really do anything with those fresh tires. He finally was able to get around Brian Hunt and who is that? Stanton. Oh, Stanton and Hunt might have made a little bit of contact in turn 1, but as they go down the back straightaway, they gathered it back up. Page finally disposed of the guys he was battling with there in the dirty air. He finally got in front of them. Let's see, in the closing laps here, should be 4 to go, right? 4? Or am I still wanting to jump ahead?
4. Yep. Should be 4 to go.
Oh, okay, wow.
Now that Page has made his way up there, there's going to be enough time, though. Still got to make his way by 4 cars. I don't know that he can do it. He's going to have to take off 1 lap. But then again, who knows if we could have another late caution and end up with a green-white checker. That's always a possibility.
Yeah, you got to remember those guys further in the back of the field, they were slicing and dicing a little bit further back, so anything is quite possible, but good possibility that maybe Brock just doesn't want to see that caution. He might be able to get them here, but another possibility that set of tires just could have equalized to what everybody else has, and he's just kind of now plateaued there in that 4th position, right behind Jim Kolmensberger. So coming to 2 laps to go, I do believe, right, Chris?
We're going to be hitting the white flag here.
Oh, white flag. Man, I'm either ahead or behind. Anyway, so white flag coming out in the air. Last lap here in the BNR Cup Series. And Caleb Shelton, he's got about a half a second lead over Kevin Roy, Jim Coleman'sberger, and Brock Page as Brock Page tries to go to the inside of Jim Coleman'sberger. Nothing happening there as Coleman'sberger shuts the door on exit on him as they proceed down the back straightaway for the final time. Jeff Gilmore trying to make up a couple of one or two spots from where he lost, but coming off of turn 4, Kevin Roy's not going to be able to get to Caleb Shelton. Caleb Shelton going to win this evening here at Auto Club, but still close enough. Kevin Roy, Jim Coleman'sberger, that's the top 3. Brock Page brings it back home in 4th position. And I do believe Brian Hunt rounds out the top 5 this evening in the BNR Cup Series. Oh, wow, they got fireworks. That's cool.
All right, so Caleb Shelton's going to be your winner.
I don't know if Kevin Roy's going to be in Discord or not.
Don't believe he usually is.
I don't. So
Caleb
might
Shelton's
just have
gonna-
to talk with. Go ahead, Chris. My apologies.
Caleb Shelton's just going to burn it down on the front stretch here. We're going to see if we can get with Caleb and Jim Coleman'sberger, because like I said, I don't think Kevin is in the Discord. So we will take a quick break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Auto Club Speedway. We've got our top 3 finishers with us. Let's talk to Jim Coleman'sberger in 3rd place. Jim, tell us how the race went to get you up into the top 3 spot.
Just took my time, used some patience. That's about it. Just save tires for the most part. I mean, I still have like 4 sets left.
Well, you made it work for you, putting it up in the podium position. Who would you like to give a shout out to tonight?
Of course, my wife Candace. She's awesome, man.
All right, well, thanks to the wife for letting him come out here tonight, and congratulations on that podium spot.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Kevin Roy bringing it home in 2nd place tonight. Kevin, you have the we've seen you do this time and time again. You start out back, you just kind of hang around, and you end up front, bringing it home in 2nd place tonight. What more do you think you could have needed to make that win happen?
I don't know
what I could have done there. You needed clean air to make passes, and Caleb was just strong out front. So there's not much I could have done. I was happy with that finish. I'm more of a long run guy, so these races I like to start out back, and that tends to lead to my strength there. So.
Well, your plan seems to work out pretty well just about every time we see you on track. So another podium for you, and also I'd like to give you another shout out. Just a huge thanks for running us on your car and hooking us up with this series here.
Not a problem. Us New Hampshire guys stick together.
That's right. All right, congratulations on the top two. Who'd you like to thank, Kevin?
I'd like to say, thank Brian and the crew over here at BNR. They put on a great series, lots of racing over here every week. So they put on a good, clean league, and appreciate you coming on board. And it was a good run.
All right, congratulations, Kevin.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, now we're here with our winner, Caleb Shelton. Caleb, you were up front all race, fired off early, great restarts, held off. How else did you make it happen? Tell us about it.
Oh well, the last restart there, I just wanted to get a really good jump, and I think I accomplished that. And then I tried to do the best I could to save my tires until the last few laps there, just kind of hold off his charge.
What you were doing there is definitely making it work because he just couldn't get you at the end of that thing, hold them off, bringing it home in victory lane tonight. Tell us who you'd like to thank.
I'll just thank the entire BNR Cup Series for having me, and everyone that joined the league for this season. And hopefully we have more good races like the one we had tonight.
All right, congratulations on that big win, bringing it home in first and the second official race of the season.
Yeah, thanks, man.
All right, thank you. All right, well, that's going to do it for us here at 1-5 Studios. Will, you got anything to add before we head out?
Well, it was a very interesting, intriguing race here at Auto Club for sure, Chris. We saw, I don't want to say a caution fest, but kind of a slew of cautions at one point. And we had a total of, I want to say, 8 cautions. But like we said earlier, things are bound to happen. So let's just wait and see. Next week, third race of the season. We'll be at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, that mile and a half out in the desert for these Cup cars. So let's see how they are able to manhandle that track next week. So back to you, Chris.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. But it's been great having you in here today, and we'll absolutely be having you back for the rest of the season. I don't know how I could do it without you, man. You saved my butt on this one. Had a lot going on tonight and kept that talk going. So it's great to have you, and we thank you for joining us, and definitely going to have you back for the rest of the season as well.
Yes, sir. Plan to be here, Chris, and glad to be able to help you out in any way, shape, or form.
All right, so that's going to do it for us here at 1-5 Studios. We appreciate you joining us. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of the racing action in the BNR series every Saturday night, 8:30 Eastern, right here at 1-5 Studios. So again, we'd like to thank you for joining us, and we'll see you at the next track.